People use these for food. They're called plates. Me, when I lift in the gym, I use plates of weight on the bar to lift a lot of weight. My name is Palmore, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys some really cool rogue tricks. So let's jump right into it.
Lame.
What? That's a good one.
That wasn't good.
Okay, pals, welcome back to another video. Today's video, I've got one that I feel like you guys will enjoy a lot. I personally really like these kind of videos, and we're going to go over some general tips and tricks on the Rogue and Shadowlands. Nothing that's really spec specific for the most part, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, guys, so for the first trick, I'm going to be answering something that I get asked about a lot on my live stream, and that is, what do I mean by sepsis to the side and rupture to the side? So basically, keeping it simple, this is a very min-max, very try-hard strategy where you're basically applying a dot to a target that's in breakable CC, allowing your global cooldown to reset, and then landing a stun on the next global. The only reason you would ever do this is to really maximize the amount of damage you can squeeze into one little stun window. For example, let's say my target didn't have a rupture on it. I could get a rupture up on my target and then stun out of it, and they would have no time to react to the rupture because they'd be in breakable CC, or I could get a sepsis up and get huge dot damage. While testing, I have noticed that it's actually been quite inconsistent lately. Sometimes it's randomly hitting for small amounts of damage and breaking CC. Sometimes these spells are not doing instant damage, so it's quite unreliable, but I still would like to answer people that are wondering what this trick actually is, because it is very interesting. So basically, the reason why this trick works is if you look as I auto-attack this target, I am able to easily auto-attack, but if I keep turning and turn a little bit further and further, eventually I'm at this point where I can no longer auto-attack. This is because I'm out of the auto-attack hitbox. The trick here is that I can actually use my abilities outside of this hitbox. So the ability hitbox is actually much larger than the auto attack hitbox. I love that this guy is just sitting here in the way. I love this so much. I love that I fly away to a cliff to get away from these idiots that are just standing on top of my beautiful scene that I'm constructing, that I have recorded this take 25 times in a row, and then this Worgen, this guy just comes here with his hat to ruin everything. Anyways, like I was saying, basically the auto attack hitbox is a lot smaller than the ability hitbox. You see from here I can't auto attack, but I can use abilities. So let's pretend that this target is in a blind. You know, they're in a blind, and I want to get a rupture up on them and then mark for death kidney. If I rupture to the side, I can basically turn, get a kidney shot off, and as you can see, I let my globals reset. The rupture did not break the blind. Like I said, this has been very inconsistent for me testing, even when I've been recording this video. Honestly, if you're in a very tight situation in arena, I would probably just play it safe and go for the stun. But yeah, that's basically me explaining this trick to you guys and how it works. Okay, guys, so for trick number 2, this one is actually not really a trick. But it is something that's kind of important to know as a rogue, and I would have never thought to put this in a video until I was on live stream, and a bunch of my viewers were actually very surprised when I said this. So basically, Shadow Strike and Cheap Shot are two abilities that can never really miss. If a rogue pops evasion, you could Shadow Strike into it, you will always do damage. You could Cheap Shot, you will never be dodged, you will never miss. This goes the same for a Demon Hunter's Blur, you know, a Warrior's Parry, Windwalker Monk's Fist of Fury. All of these spells that make them 100% parry chance, those kind of things, Shadow Strike and Cheap Shot will always go through that. So just to kind of demonstrate on the rogue here, I'll say use evasion, and I'll give you a quick example. I'll just go into Shadow Dance and kind of spam into it. But yeah, as you can see, I can absolutely pump. I will miss the Eviscerate though, so this is where another trick comes in. You actually should stack on this. You should stack your Eviscerate with a Shadow Step. That way you could never miss. Same with Kidney Shot. If you can't Cheap Shot a target and you have full combo points, you can literally just Shadow Step Kidney. And even though they have parry or evasion or Fist of Fury, any of those things up, stacking Shadow Step with it will guarantee that you land your hit, because Shadow Step is off the global cooldown. You can use it with Kidney or Evis for the damage or stun. And this is a really good little combo to have in your back pocket to be able to deal with these resistances. Okay, guys, so the next trick is something that I've kind of known about. since I want to say Wrath of the Lich King. There used to be a YouTube content creator, well, I believe his name was Pandemonium or Hybrid Panda, and he had this series called Thunderfucked, which is basically where he would thunderstorm people off of cliffs, and I thought it was hilarious. Those were some of my favorite videos, and he basically taught a concept that I didn't really understand, and that is world lag and how the game actually works. So something to know about WoW is everything that you see client side, so from your perspective, is about 1 second delayed to everyone else around you. So if I am to move right now, that movement doesn't register for about 1 second on Calvish's screen here. The reason why this is important to know and understand world lag is because you can really take this into account when it comes to juking. You know, if I want to juke him off the edge with Shadow Step, for example, let's say I want to make him come down to the ground so I can survive by staying up here. If I run off and I jump like this instantly, he will not chase me because he can see that I went really fast. Yeah, see, he even says that was trash because this was my example of how not to do it. So to do it properly, I'll show you now. You actually want to account for the 1 second delay, and you actually want to really sell it. So if he's going to be chasing me, I want to jump, and then last second, then I want to jump off. This time, as you can see, even though Calvish is a soon-to-be pro Prodigy player here in the big leagues at the AWC, he got absolutely shit on by a 2800 rogue. Okay, guys, another little trick I'm going to talk about is for Night Elves only, and this trick has to do with Shadow Meld. So this is something that I personally do all the time in my own gameplay, and it's something that's really important to know if you want to get good value out of Shadow Meld. So if you guys don't know, Shadow Meld is kind of like a second Vanish. It will let you instantly go into stealth in combat. You can actually macro Shadow Meld into stealth, and it will give you a reset. The difference between Vanish and Shadow Meld is that Vanish gives you a 3-second grace period, as you can see in the tooltip here, where basically damage will not pull you out of stealth. Shadow Meld does not have any grace window at all, so as you can see here, if I Shadow Meld any AoEs, I instantly get pulled back into stealth and I get 0 value to my Shadow Meld. I'm basically just giving myself a crit window with my MA legendary, and that's all. So a good way to actually play around your Shadow Meld as a Night Elf and get value out of it is using it with your Night Fae Soul Shape Blink, or using it with Shadow Step to a friendly target. So let's pretend that this nice noble steed here, this deer, is a warrior attacking me, and I don't have Vanish, and I'm really low health, and I'm panicking. I can basically Shadow Step to Calvish and go Meld instantly, and it will let me re-stealth and run away. It bugged out because I think I spammed the macro too fast, I'm in the world or something, but usually this will not happen. It'll put you into stealth, and you'll have a safe re-stealth. Okay, guys, the next trick I want to show you is a really quick one. This one's kind of funny, but basically, you can actually use your distract spell on targets in PvP that are out of combat, and you can actually use this with some funny interactions. So one of them is you can actually distract a monk if they're out of combat during Flying Serpent Kick, and you can redirect them completely. So I'll have Calvish here. I'll go ahead and say go, and as you can see, I'm going to distract his kick, and you can basically turn his direction. It won't send him flying over here, but it will stop the it'll stop the animation and stop his movement. Okay, guys, so this next one's actually one of my favorite in the video, and this is one that works around the honor talent, Death from Above. This talent currently is not very popular for subtlety, but you could actually pick it up as assassination. So this is a good one to know for that especially. But basically, Death from Above has a very cool interaction with portals and teleports. So basically, if you cast DFA while a target ports, your DFA will bring you where the portal is, no matter how your character has to get there. So we'll actually do an example here. Calvish has put his monk port in the basement of the Goldshire Inn. I'm going to do an opener on him in DFA, and I'll show you how it kind of follows up. And this is really important to know because it works the same in Arena. You know, if you're going to force somebody to trinket, a monk on an opener against a rogue mage is very likely to trinket a smoke bomb. You can kind of predict this and preemptively do it. It's kind of the same thing with Warlock and a Warlock port. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you that right now. So, let's say I had him sapped and I dropped a smoke bomb. Went and I did some burst right here, and then I DFA'd. My port will actually bring me right through the ground here, and then you can follow up and go for the big kill. So he clearly is a tryhard and is trying to win his first duel. Don't worry about that, but this is a cool trick to put in the notebook. Okay, guys, so another trick here. This one is basically showing you guys how to sap a trinket. I get asked about this all the time. I see streamers doing this in 2v2 at 1400. They make it look like it's a very flashy play, but it's actually not hard at all, and every one of you guys can do this as well. So sap is a very unique So sap is a very unique CC in the sense that it's one of the only CCs where if I sap my target and I keep spamming sap, it will not resap the target because a more powerful spell is already active. This will happen until the sap is over half the duration over, meaning that your next sap will basically be longer than what's left. If you're playing a mage and you're polymorphing, you're able to cast polymorphs, obviously, but what's going to happen is it will override and you'll kind of mess your DRs up. If you cast other spells like stuns, you'll instantly get the stun off and waste DRs. Sap is very unique, and if you want to sap somebody's trinket, it's very easy. Just get into the habit of, if you think that the enemy team's under a lot of pressure and they're going to have to trinket a cooldown, let's say you're fighting against a healer in DPS. If you think that the healer is going to have to trinket to save the DPS, you can get basically a full blind, and then off the blind, you'll basically go for a sap. Just keep spamming sap for a couple extra globals. Don't waste too much time and damage, but right here, I'll just spam sap, and as you can see, he trinkets, and it's an instant resap. There's no way you can really mess this up. You just have to get into the mindset of being ready to sap trinkets. Okay, guys, do not close out of the video yet. This outro is very important. I actually looked at my statistics and I noticed at the end of my videos, very quickly, as soon as I announce that it's the end of the video, the viewer attention span seems to crash extremely hard. Today, if you took the chance to listen, you're not going to miss out on the fact that